So I decided to check out Mufasa in IMAX 3D this week. It's been a while since I've seen a movie in 3D, and though I'm not usually impressed by this kind of thing, I thought it would bring a little more magic to a movie that I wasn't really looking forward to seeing. So let's throw in the glasses and let's talk about Mufasa, the IMAX 3D experience. Mufasa stars Aaron Pierce as Mufasa, a lion cub who becomes estranged from his parents after a great flood. Almost drowning, Mufasa is saved by another lion cub, Taka, who brings Mufasa home and is essentially adopted by Taka's mom. Taka's dad, the extremely lazy king of the pride, wants nothing to do with this orphan cub and makes Mufasa stay with the women lionesses. Taka is next in line to be king, but the royal line becomes threatened when a group of lions attacks the pride, sending Taka and Mufasa on the run to seek out a new land only known by myth, a land of harmony where all species of animals can live in peace together, a place safe from the white lions where Taka and his royal bloodline can be safe. The movie actually starts with Donald Glover back as Simba, who is about to go on a secret journey with Nala, again voiced by Beyonce, which was really nice to hear them in these two roles again. They have a son who has to stay behind to be watched by, of course, Timon and Pumbaa, again voiced by Billy Eichner and Seth Rogen, while they wait for Simba and Nala to come back from whatever they are doing, which you will find out at the end of the movie, by the way. We are all told the origin story of Mufasa by Rafiki, voiced by John Connie. The film is directed by Barry Jenkins, who also directed movies like the Oscar-winning film Moonlight and the fantastic If Beale Street Could Talk. Jenkins is a phenomenal director, and honestly, I was kind of surprised that he was attached to this project. We have music in this movie created by the amazing Lin-Manuel-Miranda, which explains why he wasn't a part of Moana 2, and this is a new origin story. I was a huge fan of the original animated The Lion King movie from 1994. When I saw it in theaters, I was blown away by the story and the music, and it had so much heart and warmth that I didn't think anyone left that theater in a bad mood. It's such an iconic film, and when they recreated the live-action animated film, I wasn't really that interested. I saw it and thought that was okay, but really just unnecessary, and I'd kind of forgotten about it. The first one to me was a perfect animated film. Now we have all these live-action remakes of all these Disney classics, and honestly, they just feel like money grabs at this point. There have been some decent ones, I guess, but for the most part, they're making these inferior versions of these amazing classics. Now we have a live-action Moana coming out, and this creepy-looking Snow White movie. To me, they're taking away from what made the original so special, taking away the heart of the story by trying to make it better with technology instead of focusing on a beautiful story like they used to. The CGI of Mufasa is beautiful and much better than the Lion King remake. It does look really stunning, but because it looks so stunning, it makes it also look very fake. It was a real visual experience, especially in 3D, but of course the 3D experience kind of wears off after an hour or so. You get kind of used to it, and it doesn't seem as special the longer that you look at the 3D. The film is incredible visually, though, and you forgive the unrealistic look of the movie pretty quick. There's an amazing scene in these ice caves that are absolutely beautiful, and I appreciate the time and skill to not only make these worlds, but to animate characters through them in a way that looks natural. The people who make these visual effects and the animators don't get the credit that they deserve, in my opinion. We're so used to these now and this look that we're always complaining about how fake it looks, especially in a kids' movie. They really did a great job in this film. The story wasn't bad, but it wasn't anything that I really cared about. You're kind of watching it and saying the whole time, oh, that's why that's in The Lion King, or cool, that's how that happened, and why this character is the way they are now. It's just a lot of backstory to the actual Lion King, which is fine and sometimes fun, but it's not really something that you care too much about. Some hardcore Lion King fans might. It's like looking through a Star Wars encyclopedia to see the backstory on characters or places that really didn't need a backstory in the movie, but gives the franchise a cool mythology. I enjoyed all the Lion King connections, and I enjoyed the end where everything is kind of tied together. But it wasn't this heartfelt movie as much as the actual Lion King itself was. We see a lot of the same kind of story here and themes, just to explain the past and how we got to where we are now. The music in the film was okay, but I was actually pretty disappointed if I'm being honest. I'm a huge fan of Lin-Manuel-Miranda, Hamilton, and The Heights, and the first Moana soundtrack. I never get tired of. His songs are so dynamic and memorable, but in Mufasa, they didn't really land. There was one song with the King White Lion that was kind of fun, but the other songs I honestly don't remember, and that's strange for his type of music. The writing was okay, nothing too memorable. The relationship between Mufasa and Taka was decent to watch, but it was lacking heart and depth that I would have had expected a little bit more of, especially because of where the relationship takes a turn and why. And the relationship kind of turns in an instant, which didn't make a lot of sense to me considering how they grew up together and bonded in that relationship over time. I didn't really care about Mufasa like I did in The Lion King. I don't know if I really saw Mufasa as Mufasa actually, mainly because that character is such a legend in the original movie. I mean, he's a huge king. And when you have a character voiced by James Earl Jones,
Father, you are my son, and the one true king.
His voice is so powerful and so majestic, it's hard to go backward from that. I felt the same way with Anakin Skywalker before he became Darth Vader in the prequels.
Jedi business, go back to your drinks.
It just doesn't work that well, and it's hard to make that connection. The main thing that bothered me about this movie, though, was how they cut back to Timon and Pumbaa over and over again while telling Mufasa's story.
Hi, we're here too.
Yeah, why are you leaving us outside this story when I'm pretty sure we are the ultimate outsiders?
It was like they were trying to kill time because they didn't have enough story to cover a 2-hour movie.
Hakuna Mufasa, what a wonderful name.
It would have probably been better cut down to 90 minutes, honestly. They cut back and forth, and it's really distracting to the main story, with really dumb kiddish jokes, which is fine because it is a kids movie, but sometimes the jokes are just painful, even for kids. And I didn't hear a lot of the kids laughing in the theater. It was overkill, and it really bothered me. The story is about being different and feeling like an outsider. It's about inclusion and living in harmony despite our differences and order in the animal kingdom. It's about how we can all live in harmony with one another. A sweet message bringing us back to the Lion King's circle of life. It's a great message, not one you haven't seen before in a movie, but it was sweet for what it was. You hear a lot of the music from the original film that feels good, but it doesn't really link up to the actual story. It feels like it's kind of there to get you to remember the heart of the first film that this film doesn't have as much of. Mufasa is an okay film that your kids will probably enjoy, and it is entertaining with some beautiful visual effects, a decent story, not a story that really needed to be told, but it will build on the original Lion King story that gives you more of a nostalgia for the original film. More than anything. I'm giving Mufasa 1.5 stars. It was okay. It just didn't do anything for me. Maybe you'll enjoy it more than I did, but I want to know your thoughts on Mufasa, especially if you saw it in IMAX 3D. Is 3D pretty much dead? Did you like this as much as the original? Let me know in the comments, and thank you again for watching. Like and subscribe. It really means so much. And remember, don't wait till it streams. Let's go to the theater and see it together.